Hello and welcome to this special episode of Let's Play Star Trek Online. We are looking at the USS Bulwark, which is the flagship of Vice Admiral 1 of 6, my Borg character, liberated Borg character. You can check out. Here's 1 of 6. He is a Vice Admiral, like I said before. He is my first character in this game. He has some pretty decent gear, he's nothing special. The Bulwark is equipped with some nice items, which I got from a science, a special ship. It's a set item, and these are together give me some boosts. It's rather nice to have. So yeah, that's the Bulwark, and we are going to do. Let's get out of this area. We are currently flying around Bajor, due to the fact that Deep Space Nine has been taken over by. Well, seems to be the old Dominion. But we'll have to figure out how that exactly works on a later date. Probably with my other character, Gilbert. Let's hail Tuvok. And yeah. Recent events have underscored the threat posed by the Undyne, the native species of fluidic space. These aliens have infiltrated galactic powers, including the Federation, by using their shape-shifting and telepathic abilities. In an attempt to form a united front against this threat, I have called for a summit to discuss the means by which the various governments of the Alpha and Beta quadrants can detect and neutralize the Undyne presence. The location for the talks will be the Genolan Dyson Sphere. Control of the site is currently under dispute by the Federation, the Klingon Empire, and the Roman Republic. However, I believe that access to the sphere should be a secondary concern to that of the threat of the Undyne. Your experiences in the field may prove to provide a valuable perspective, as well as a moderating influence. Please attend as a representative of the Federation. Go to the gateway near the Juret system Tau Deva sector block. Travel to the General Sphere to attempt to conference posed by species 8472, also known as the Undyne. We will get some Undyne marks. We will get a special ground trade, fluidic antigens, and a special space trade called the Living Hull. We will get counter command engineering kit, or whatever that may be. Oh, that might actually be one of those items we can slot in our special belt. Yeah, this belt that I was talking about with the module slots. And we get a console, which is actually quite nice. I'm looking at it right now. Counter command, multi-conduit energy relay. It's part of the counter command ordnance, which has photon torpedo launchers, which is nice. Disruptor turret mark 12. The tactical counter command console. Counter command, multi-conduit energy relay console, and a universal hadron compensator. It's a very nice set of items. So let's get on a move. If I recall correctly, I need to. The fastest way is to go through our space dock, so we need to do just that. Now, as you could probably notice, the ship I'm flying currently is a lot bigger than the one that we're flying with Gilbert. This is a Galaxy class, and it's actually the same type of ship that Captain Jean-Luc Picard flies in the Next Generation series. It's a very robust ship, good defense. Crew of 1,000. Hull repair of 170.9, so that's pretty decent. We have good shields as well. All things considered, the hull is a 56,000. It's a very nice ship to have. This is the retrofit, so it actually has a few extra things going on for it. One of those things is the saucer separation. It's during combat I can separate the saucer and the actual combat part of the ship down here, and the saucer will follow the rest of the ship at a distance and shoot at enemies, so that's actually more damage. And part of a ship will, the saucer's part of the ship will also sometimes act a bit as a distraction, which isn't bad in my personal opinion. It has a total of 5 seats for my bridge officers, as you can see. I have 3 engineering seats, 1 science and 1 assault. And yeah, all things considered, it's just a very nice ship to play around with, in my personal opinion. Also, it seems that they are showing off screenshots made by players for the loading screens, which is nice. It adds a bit more it adds a bit more character to the loading screens. I mean, the images that they already put there, the images of outer space and some of the ships, they're very nice, but sometimes players can be more creative when it comes to making awesome screenshots of their ships, combat, stuff they find, stuff they see. Oftentimes this is due to the fact that players sometimes are capable of looking at something in a completely different way. Let's go to the galaxy map to make sure we have the right area. Yeah. From here on we need to go to Tau Dewa, and then it's... You might notice this ship here moves slightly faster than the one we are currently in the series. We are currently at warp 9.97. We have a slipstream quantum slipstream drive, which is currently on recharge. And thing is, with this bulky ship, it is very hard to maneuver as the fact that it's just so damn slow when it comes to turning. You don't really notice it here, but in combat you can definitely notice the difference. That's why I built this ship focusing on broadsides. I have a lot of broadside cannons on this ship. We have torpedoes up front, another set of torpedoes up front, another set of torpedoes on the back, another set of torpedoes on the back. Then we have broadsides, even more broadsides, even more broadsides, and even more broadsides. So there's pretty much 4 weapons that will all lock onto the enemy when I'm flying next to it instead of charging it or running in front of it. So usually broadside the enemy with a lot of beams, and then once the shields are weakened to the point that I can blast through it, I turn around and go full in with my torpedoes. It's a very effective way of doing it in my personal opinion. Let's see, the gateway. Okay, let's fly. This is a very active area due to the fact that this is the end game content for the moment, the Dyson Sphere and the Undyne Assault. It's an interesting storyline that they're trying to play around with. Surface tension, begin.
Last time on Star Trek Online.
We are fighting a war on multiple fronts. We have to consider the Borg, the Undine, and the Romulans, as well as the Klingons.
I see now my deception has been exposed. Starfleet has lost too many ships and too many good men and women to a fight we now know was caused by Iconian and Undine influence.
Is that...
An Iconian gateway? Yes, I believe it is.
Into the gateway, now!
Are all those markers Iconian gateways?
Sir, we've been scanning the gateway. The monitors on the bridge are all showing an Omega.
Welcome to the Delta Quadrant. We are within the Solanae Dyson Sphere, a spherical structure built around a star.
We now know why the sphere generates vast amounts of Omega particles. It is designed to use those particles as fuel to jump to any area of space.
It now appears that the Jenolan Sphere had the same jump capabilities as the Solanae, and moved to this location.
You're not Cooper.
We will repel the Undine, and survive to warn the Alpha Quadrant of the renewed threat. The Undine are a threat to us all. I propose a summit. We must decide together what we must do to protect the Alpha Quadrant. Our disputes may need to be put aside in the face of a greater enemy.
Yeah, it's too bad that the sound is a bit low. Volume is a bit low. But yeah.
Welcome to the Delta Quadrant. I will admit that I did not expect to be here with Voyager again. It is agreeable. Thank you for agreeing to attend this conference and supporting my position on the Undine. However, reaching a consensus today will be difficult. Many different agendas will be represented here today. I will speak to you in person shortly. Tuvok out.
Welcome to the Jenolan Dyson Sphere. Please beam down to these coordinates.
Right. Well, let's talk to Captain Sean and see what he has to say.
Good to see you. I'd say you're right on time, but it looks like everyone else wants to be fashionably late. We're still finishing preparations for the conference, and Admiral Tuvok is already there. The Klingon and Romulan delegates will arrive soon, so we should head inside as soon as you're ready.
Lead on, Captain. love this level design, it's brilliant. See what we have over here with Klingons and Gorn. Like the full Klingon side is represented. Or yeah, we have Orions as well. Don't see any female Orions. Over here we have Starfleet and Raymans and Romulans. The town with Commander Jarok. So many people in one room, it's going to be asking for trouble. Let's see what Tuvok has to say.
Thank you for joining us here. We need assistance with preparations for the conference. The Romulan and Klingon delegations are still in private deliberations, but other delegates are arriving. Several preliminary tasks remain before we can begin the presentation. Your support in this matter would be appreciated.
Security over here.
Where do you want me posted, sir?
Yeah, you go to the Romulans.
Where do you want me posted, sir?
You go to the Klingons.
Where do you want me posted, sir?
And you go to the projector. Yeah, these are the cat race that they made for Star Trek Online, and as you can see, both the Klingons side has a version, these dark ones, and the Starfleet have this version, which is lighter in color. With the amount of control you have over how your characters look, you can probably make a dark one and still have it be part of Starfleet.
This Cardassian thug is trying to push Bajor out of this conference. We have as much of a right to be represented here as any other world. More than the Cardassians. They're not even part of the Federation or the Klingon Empire.
I simply pointed out that as a Federation member world, Bajor has no need to send an independent diplomat to this conference. After all, Bajor has no separate planetary interests that would require their attendance here. The Federation speaks for them.
That's an unfair characterization. The Bajorans have had a gateway to the Gamma Quadrant in their space for decades. We value their experience and their opinion.
I wouldn't exactly say that the state of Bajor inspires much confidence. After all, it is a Cardassian space station that the Federation uses to police the wormhole. Even so, the state of security at the wormhole is far from ideal. The Dominion has taken control twice now, hasn't it?
This is a distraction from the larger issue at hand. The problems represented here are larger than a single world or a single wormhole.
The Federation has never made a policy of preventing member worlds from overseeing their own interests in conjunction with Federation efforts. Or is Bajor going to be treated differently than other member worlds?
We can't have an open and honest conference unless all parties are willing to engage in meaningful dialogue without shutting out members of the galactic community. Neither Bajor nor Cardassia should be excluded.
Well, since you put it that way, I suppose I'll just take my seat.
Thank you.
The preliminary tasks are complete. You should speak with Admiral Tuvok again.
Politicians.
Thank you for your assistance. Please take the opportunity to speak with the various delegates. Having an understanding of the positions of each representative will facilitate more effective negotiations.
Well, let's talk to them then. Whom do we have here? Sugihara?
The Federation's position is quite clear. We believe the only way to safeguard the future of the Alpha and Beta Quadrants is for all of the galactic powers to behave as reasonable entities and work together to oppose those who would threaten our worlds. It doesn't matter if that threat comes from the Undine, the Borg, or the Iconians. The response is the same.
It was unexpectedly brief. Thank you, Ambassador. That guy can actually talk and talk and talk and simply don't stop. Let's talk to the Xindi.
The Xindi are here to support Admiral Tuvok's call for cooperation. We know what tragedies befall a people who are being manipulated by outsiders, as we once were. The Undine's lies and manipulation remind us of the Sphere Builders, whose deceptions led us to make one of the greatest mistakes in our history. There are 5 races on my world. We all know reaching a consensus can be difficult, but the Xindi are living proof that if we put aside animosity, our differences can make us stronger.
Thank you. Ambassador
I
Star.
sincerely hope that the Federation is not wasting our time here. If your presentation is to explain the threat posed by the Undine, let me spare you the effort. The Klingon Empire has been aware of this threat for quite some time now.
Thank you, Ambassador. Yeah. I don't know why, but the Klingons have decided to make one of their most ferocious and strongest people an ambassador. Talk to Proconsul Tatan.
Thank you for the invitation. Starfleet certainly knows how to organize their meetings on a grand scale. I trust that the Republic will be able to take a leadership role in studying this sphere. The extensive knowledge we've gained from the Solanae sphere should give us an advantage here. And, after all, the gateway that leads to both of these spheres is in Republic space.
That's not the only thing we need to decide here. What about the Undine?
Yes, the Undine. Very interesting. My security advisors have been looking over the data, and we are all very curious to hear what you and Admiral Tuvok have to say on the matter.
Thank you for attending, Proconsul. Please take position at the podium. And there's a Ferengi going, imagine the profits! Yeah, have fun getting profits when you're dead.
We are almost ready to begin. Will you complete the final preparations for the conference while I speak to Captain Sean? After that, your assistance in encouraging everyone to take their seats would be appreciated.
Understood. I'll finish the preparations and then direct people to their seats. What am I, a bellboy?
Yes, yes, I'm going.
Thank you for taking your seat. These people. See, Starfleet, they are all just lining up and very organized. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. Let's see.
I was just going. Don't rush me.
Thank you for taking your seat. Okay.
Ah, yes, I will take my seat.
Thank you.
I suppose we can begin.
Thank you.
You can start the presentation from the control console.
I love this effect. I don't know why, but I love it. So, let's see what Tuvok has created for the presentation.
The Undine represent a clear and present danger to not only the Federation, but also the Klingon Empire and Romulan Republic. The damage done here by a mere handful of ships is clear evidence for the need for cooperation.
With respect, Admiral, the Romulan Republic is quite capable of leading exploration and security measures here, just as we have led efforts to secure the Solanae sphere. My militia...
I find it interesting that the Federation suddenly has concerns about the Undine now. Where was the Federation when the Empire discovered Undine infiltrators in the Alpha Quadrant? Or is the Federation only interested now the Undine threatens something you want?
Given the exceptionally complicated nature of such... Ambassador, given what we now know, that was a mistake. The Empire recognized the Undine threat years ago. We didn't.
You admit you are wrong?
The evidence provided by Admiral Tuvok and his team is sound.
Thank you, Captain Sean. However, dwelling on past mistakes will not solve the problems of the present.
Our fleet stands ready to protect both spheres from the Undine.
The Undine can wait. We have more important business to discuss. Who owns this sphere? I represent a consortium of businessmen on Ferenginar. We are prepared to invest significant venture capital into transforming this sphere into a vacation destination to rival Risa. I have a proposal of $500,000 of... What's that?
Tuvok to Voyager. Report.
A massive fleet of Undine vessels just appeared from a rift. They're setting a course for the gateway.
The Undine? What do they want?
Unknown. Drop to Lisette. Track their course.
Enterprise to Captain Sean. We're receiving a distress signal from Earth's space dome.
Sean to Federation fleet. Red alert. Prepare for immediate departure.
The Federation is our enemy, but the Undine attack like assassins in the night.
We will crush the Comic-Con!
A significant Undine force is headed for the Sol system. We must stop the Undine from breaching Earth's defenses.
Beam up and follow the Undine fleet to Earth.